I mean, I'm not saying that your date is gonna be have a foot fetish or anything, but your Pisces rising, you know, you've probably got some cute toes. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are all here. I'm finally back to filming. I did already film this video, can't lie to you guys, and I just did not like it. I didn't like the quality of the video, basically. Not so much the content, just like the actual quality of the video. But anyway, besides the point. Feeling the energy, feeling ready to film again, so I'm so happy to be back. I'm really excited for today's video because it is combining two of my favorite things, basically, or most favorite things, which is fashion and astrology. Like, before my channel became more spirituality based and all the other rest of it, I focused mostly on like beauty and fashion and stuff like that, lifestyle stuffs, like more general stuff. So I feel like this is a great way to kind of blend my two identities together a little bit more and show you guys a little bit more about who I am, in a way, I guess, through this video. So anyway, today we are going to be looking at how you guys can use astrology to find your personal style. So before we hop into this video properly, I just want to mention the lighting changes that will probably be going on. The sun is coming and going right now, so I'm sure lighting will significantly change by the end of this video and throughout this video, so just be aware. This video is going to be split into two parts. So this is going to be part one, where I'm going to explore more of the planets and placements that you should be looking at, or that you want to look at, when it comes to your personal style. We also are going to go beyond the sun sign today, as I'm sure many of you guys, well, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I feel like as astrology has become more mainstream and popularized, people have become aware of the fact that astrology is more than just your sun sign. So we are going past your sun sign today. Don't worry, I was one of those people who just thought it was your sun sign and that was it, but here we are, broadening minds. So I do have, you know, don't get too afraid, don't worry about it. I've prepared everything to help you guys understand this, because I do have a beginner's guide astrology video as well, where you can go into that, a beginner's guide astrology video where you guys can, you know, help yourself make sense of your birth chart a little bit more. It just gives you all of the kind of initial things, terminologies and stuff like that I might be using in this video that maybe you won't, depending on how advanced you are at astrology at this moment in time, you might not be aware of. So to account for that, there is a beginner's guide video which I filmed a couple of months ago now, probably almost a year ago now, but still very useful. Do head there if you feel like you're getting lost throughout this video, or you're just like, yeah, it's too much. So head over there if you do feel like you're getting a bit overwhelmed. I'm also creating a Google Documents sheet, which will be like a cheat sheet. It just kind of condenses all the information from both these videos into one place, because I do have a habit of like chucking a lot of information at you guys when I do these types of videos, and then I'm like, ooh I forget that, you know, people are at different stages. So that will be made available in part two. So you might want to subscribe, you might want to like this video so that YouTube can, you know, make you aware. Oh, do you know what? Even turn the friggin' notification bell on. Ew, I never say that. That sounds weird. I never say that. Turn your little notification bell on. Do what you want. Yeah. Oh, you know, follow my socials, because I'm sure I'll post it on there as well for when part two of this video eventually comes out. And yeah, you'll get access to the Google document cheat sheet. And also I have created a whole Pinterest board for all of the zodiac signs, which I will be going into in part two of this video. I'll be going into detail about each zodiac sign and how they would be expressed through fashion. But to really get the most out of this, you do need both parts of this video. So that's why I'm starting off with the foundation, with the basics, and then we can hop into more of like the specifics, let's say, when it comes to fashion and your personal style according to the zodiac signs related to your placements. I'm going to be extra kind, extra helpful for you guys, and I'm going to insert a little clip now where I can show you guys where to find your natal chart if you've never done that before. And I'm just going to like point to the placements that we'll be using today, just so that you can get your natal chart up at the same time and go through this video, so that, you know, we're doing this together, guys. We're doing this together. So in order to find your natal chart or birth chart, you want to head to astro.com. I'll link it down below. And then go to all horoscopes at a glance and click on the extended chart selection option. You don't have to make an account just to find your own birth chart, but you can if you want to add multiple and fill in all this information. You do need your birth time to find your ascendant. So if you don't have your birth time, this is going to be a little bit more tricky to get a fuller picture. I'm going to go on to explain this a little bit more in a bit, but just in case you want to change the calculation from tropical to sidereal, that's where you do that. So I'm just using the mouse to show you guys what areas or placements and planets that we're looking at today. So this is the ascendant. This is the sun sign, or the symbol for the sun sign. This is the symbol for Venus. And this is a symbol for the moon. Okay, one more thing. If you find the Placidus house system too complicated to look at, you can use whole sign. And this is how your chart will look instead. You can just see all the houses are taking up equal amounts of room. Hope that makes sense. And I think it just looks a little bit simpler to the eye sometimes if you find the other calculation a little bit too difficult. So I hope that helped you guys out. And yeah, let's continue. And I have found as well that I think, even though I do think this works for both charts, as in sidereal and tropical charts, I have been finding that sidereal charts have been relating to the information that I've been pulling out about the zodiac signs and their fashion or style a lot more. So, and I do have I have like a little theory, not a theory, but to me I feel like sidereal placements are a lot more unconscious in a way, a lot more innate maybe as well. So yeah, you might want to look at your sidereal and your tropical chart and compare the two, especially when it gets to part 2 of this video, because I have been finding that sidereal does match up for a lot of people in my life when it comes to the different styles that I've pulled out for them. Not for them, sorry. The different styles that I've uncovered about the different zodiac signs. So anyway, let's get into this video. And we're going to start off with probably the most, I wouldn't say important, but the most maybe obvious placement, which is the ascendant. The ascendant is not only how others see you, but also the image that you project into the world or onto the world. I feel like the ascendant says, this is how I want you to see me. And I think it really represents the kind of style and the colors that other people say look good on you. Because the ascendant is sometimes, I feel like for other people, a lot of the time it is for other people. It's how you go out into the world to kind of get, it's almost how you've been conditioned to present yourself to the world, first impressions or initial basis kind of way. So I feel like it's the colors and the styles that other people say look good on you, the styles and colors where people are like, oh, I really like that color on you, you look really good today, you look really nice today. So when you want those kind of compliments, you want to look to your ascendant. It also represents your physical body, so it tells you about your physique and what areas you might want to show off, or alternatively what areas you might want to hide. And I think the difference between the two is going to be about the aspects that are being made to your ascendant. For example, maybe if Saturn is on your ascendant, or there's a difficult or harsh aspect being made between the ascendant and Saturn, you might feel a little bit more restricted in certain areas in how you present yourself. So maybe the zodiac sign that is ruling your ascendant, that is on your ascendant, the kind of physique and body that it represents, it might be something that you prefer to hide away, or you feel like you can't really show off because of this aspect being made. So your ascendant really tells you about the type of fit of clothing that you feel comfortable in, or you gravitate towards. You know, is it flowy or loose clothing? Is it tight and structured? And what body parts do you like to put on display? Is it your arms? Is it your legs? Do you like your clavicle on display? Do you like your chest area on display? Because clothing really does play like a huge role in our lives. Like every single area of our life, clothing is a part of. We wear it in the home, we wear it to bed, we wear it out, we wear it to work, like so many different areas of life. So I feel like you should really look to your ascendant when it comes to your style when you're making first impressions. So when you're going on dates, or you're in dating phases, and when you're maybe going to parties or gatherings, when you're meeting new people in any kind of capacity, and maybe at school as well, and also when you're going to interviews, or although I would say the midhaven comes into play here, which I will kind of explain a little bit later on. So yeah, the ascendant is basically our style in relation to what others think about us. So the ruling planet of your ascendant and any other planets on your ascendant can tell you more about the style that you put out into the world, or how you express yourself through your fashion. For example, if you had Libra or Taurus on your ascendant, which are ruled by Venus, so you would have more of a Venusian quality to how you express your style. You may be very into fashion in general. It may be something that you want to, you know, put out into the world. You really put emphasis on your style, and maybe you're someone who likes to be up to date on trends. Or if you have Jupiter on your ascendant or ruling your ascendant, your beliefs might be very important to you. So this could be your representation of clothing through your belief system. So whether that's religious beliefs, or maybe it's veganism or political belief, and that could be represented in your fashion style. So the planets on your ascendant and aspecting your ascendant will change the expression of your style, your personal style. And like I said in part 2 is where I'll be going into the different zodiac signs in relation to clothing and fashion. But this is how the planetary energies can influence your style. Planetary energies in the first house, or closely aspecting your ascendant. So if you have your sun on your first house, if it's the ruler of your ascendant, for example, if you have Leo ascendant, then your style has an essence of being youthful, it's unique and it's bright. If you have Mars there or aspecting your ascendant, your style could have an element of being defiant. The colors are vibrant and it's chaotic. Venus has an element of fun, it's playful and it's flirty. Mercury has the elements of being very clean, it's precise and it flows. The moon is moody, it's dazzling and it's unrestricted. Pluto is extremes. You might gravitate towards darker colors and it's isolating. Right, for some reason I completely missed out Neptune. So if you have Neptune in your first house, if you have a Pisces ascendant, or if you have Neptune closely aspecting your ascendant also carries a whimsical, ethereal and energy that is otherworldly, because Neptune is kind of like that. You know, Jupiter is jovial, it's extravagant, your ethics might come into play here, and it's high class as well. And Saturn is restrictive, it's simple, it's dark and it's dull. Uranus is shocking, it's energetic and innovative. Chiron is rebellious. You might have some kind of breakthrough in your fashion where you switch up your style and really start to own who you are. As you learn to embrace your ascendant's qualities, you might come into your own when it comes to your style. So there might be a real big shift in how you dress at some point, because the Chiron is the wounded warrior. And once Chiron overcomes their wounds, it goes out and helps others who also share those wounds. It's also expressive as well. And finally, having Lilith closely aspecting or on the ascendant gives an element of style that is defiant, it's dark, and it's erotic. So next up, your sun sign, another placement which we probably would think contributes to our personal style, and yes, it does. Your sun sign represents your sense of identity, and it is your creative expression. So to me, I feel like your sun sign, I feel like our sun sign kind of can appear to say, this is me, but what I think it really says is, this is who I want to be. So for this purpose, rather than just kind of going into details about your sun sign, I want you to choose like 3 to 5 words that you would use to identify yourself. So I'll do this with you guys just to kind of help you make sense of this. The words I chose were like fun, kind, different, and spiritual. I don't know, those are the kind of words that I would, if someone was like, describe you, sorry. If someone was like, who are you? Describe yourself. Those are probably the words that would instantly come to mind, or words that I feel comfortable expressing about myself, or feel closely aligned with who I am and my identity. So now you have those words, take those words and consider how that might be expressed through clothing. Like, what kind of connotations do those words hold? So for me, with the word fun, I thought of maybe brighter colors, maybe being quite expressive or playful in my style. With kind, I thought of more like a feminine touch, because the feminine kind of has that element of being approachable. With the word different, I might choose pieces that stand out or make me stand out in some way, or that are different from others. And in relation to the word spiritual, I might choose clothing that is a little bit more freeing or loose fitting, because I feel like that follows the kind of connotations that that word has. So maybe do it down below if you find it easier. Put it in the comments down below. Write your 3 to 5 words, and then write what kind of style elements those words have connotations for. And yeah, share it down below. Maybe it will help others out as well. So moving on to our next placement, and that is your Venus sign. So I feel like your Venus sign is probably the most important placement when it comes to your personal style, because Venus does rule over fashion in general, and our Venus sign also tells us what we value. I find it is the clothing pieces that we look at, or the way you're styling that we see on other people, and we're like, oh my god, I love that. Like the one that just makes you feel like, ooh, that is hot. Like, and makes you feel good in it as well. Like, you feel sexy, you feel hot, you feel desirable in it. It also does relate to our finances and our spending habits. So it shows us what type of clothing items we're more likely to spend money on, and what fabrics we might like to buy as well. So for example, Capricorns might be more likely to buy quality pieces. They want to invest in pieces because they know that it will stand the test of time. And because that's of that Sagittarian influence as well. Whereas Libra, Taurus, or Pisces placements, Pisces, because of its exaltation in Venus, they might be a little bit more frivolous with their spending, in terms of they're more likely to indulge and give into trends because they like fashion, they like styling, and they want to, you know, keep updating their style. They want to be current or relevant in some way because it is something that they value and something that they like. Again, you do have to take your whole natal chart into account when it comes to anything that I am saying. So, you know, look at your chart as well. If you feel like some of these things aren't 100% resonating with you, you might have a different placement somewhere that kind of counteracts that and changes the way that you view things or value things as well. Again, part 2 of this video, you'll maybe start to put things together a little bit more. But a bit like the ascendant, Venus is also at a relational sign, so other people's perceptions are also playing a role here as well. Venus also rules over adolescence, so if you think about it, how a lot of the time when we are in our adolescence, we really value what our peers think of us, especially when it comes to style and fashion, stuff like that, and we look towards our peers to kind of tell us how cool we are, or tell us if we're on trend or off trend, or tell us what to buy and stuff like that. Again, this is depending on the sign of your Venus. So if you have more of like an Aquarius Venus, you might really want to reject the mainstream rather than desiring to be accepted by the mainstream. So that would also be reflected in your personal style as well. Whereas our ascendant tells us the impression we want to give to others, our Venus sign tells us how we go about getting what we want. So a Venus sign shows us what kind of statement is being made through our choice of dress. So for example, I have a Libra rising, so my first impression that I kind of want to give off is someone who's friendly, who is desirable because it has that Venusian quality to it, and who is a little bit more on trend, who has a kind of know-how of fashion or something like that. That's the impression I want to give off. But I do have a Capricorn Venus, so the actual statement I want to say about myself to the world is someone that is reliable, someone that is responsible, someone that is serious. And bringing both those elements together, I feel like it would be exhibited in a way where I wear a style that is well suited to the occasion because it is responsible, and a style that is practical, and I aim to impress, but in a non-flashy way because of my Capricorn Venus. So it's almost like wearing a fur coat with a dark color or something like that, you know, like everyone's like, oh, I love that coat, I love that fur coat, but it's not pink, it's not like a bright orange or anything like that that makes you stand out in that way. My Venus sign doesn't necessarily want me to stand out, but my Libra rising wants me to be noticed in some way through my fashion. So bringing both those kind of elements together and bringing a balance between the two, and that's how your personal style is formed, because it is personal to you. Next up is your moon sign. I feel like maybe this is one that goes a bit underlooked when it comes to your personal style or fashion, but I think it is important because our moon sign tells us about our comfortability factor when it comes to clothing. Like, it's all well and good desiring to wear a particular type of clothing, like we see a celebrity and we're like, oh, I love that, like I wish I could dress like that, or I really love that on that person. That's more of our Venus sign. But our moon sign is actually going to tell us what we feel comfortable enough wearing and what is achievable for us comfortability wise, because your moon sign represents your moods, your instincts, and your emotional world. It is your comfort zone. So consider this: what clothing items in your wardrobe do you always go towards? And compare them to the items that you brought because you liked them but you never really wore them. Like, I know a lot of people will be like, don't give in to trends because da 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 da, but sometimes we really love a trend and we stick with that kind of trend or that theme in our style. And sometimes we just like, we buy something that we initially like but we never really go towards because we don't feel comfortable enough wearing it, or it doesn't feel 100%. When we look in the mirror, we just don't feel like us in some way, or we just don't feel, there's something missing, right? And I feel like this is where your moon sign has to come into play here. Especially if your moon sign is in your first house, your identity and your emotions are going to be closely linked. So your emotions are going to play a big part in how you choose to dress on a day-to-day basis. I do want to point to other areas of interest also relating to fashion and your personal style, and if you feel ready enough, you can bring all of these elements together and yeah, to help you get a bigger picture or a clearer picture on your personal style. So the midhaven is your personal style when it comes to your public image. So think celebrities, social media influencers, or CEOs, like people who are faces of their company. This is where you kind of want to bring in your midhaven, even if you're in your work life as well. Maybe if you are looking to get a job as well, because this is kind of your work area of life. It's not like your work is in like your physical work, it's like your image in your workplace. So if your work does involve being in the public eye in some way, or the way people perceive you being very important in your workplace, then your midhaven is also going to be very important in that area of your life when it comes to your personal style. Alyssa Sharp has she started a really great series on midhavens, but I think she's only done Virgo midhavens. So any people with Virgo midhavens out there, very lucky, because her midhaven series when it comes to style is really great, and I'm hoping that she does some more. But anyway, if you do want to check her video out, it is very informative, and I feel like you can take kind of elements of what she done and maybe try and apply it to your own midhaven as well. So the second house is also another area in your life that you want, area in your chart that you might want to look at when it comes to your personal style, because it is also the things that you value, and it's also your money habits. So what type of stuff are you more likely to spend your money on? Like I said, Venusian placements or Venus in the second house, you might be more likely to just like fashion in general, whereas maybe if you have something like Scorpio in the second house, you might be more into, I don't know, occult stuff. Like, it's not really, depending on your other placements, you know, you can look to your second house and just see in general what you value out of life, and apply that to your fashion as well, so that you are also avoiding buying things that you're not going to wear. Also, degrees are important in astrology. I go into more detail in the ultimate beginner's guide to astrology. I don't even know what I called it at this point, but I go into more detail about degrees in that video if you want to check it out again. But whether you're following Nicola's degree theory or decans, I don't really know how to say it, decans, degrees can shift the energy of whatever it's expressing. So yeah, again, we'll just tell you more detail, more depth, more detail. Like I said, astrology is just layer after layer after layer. Yeah, check that video out if you want to get into more depth, more detail about your personal style. And then also aspects, which I've kind of mentioned as well throughout this video. With all these planets and placements that I've mentioned, the different aspects going on is going to change the planetary expression. It's going to change the energy of your chart in general, and it's going to tell you more about how you're actually expressing that energy. And this is why it makes, like, you could share the same birth date. Like, I was literally in a group chat with a bunch of people who all had the same birth date as me, I think, or very similar chart to me, but the ascendant sign was different, which makes the whole chart different, and all our degrees were different. So again, we just were all different people, even though we all shared a very similar chart makeup and birthday and birth year. Anyway, so before I end up this video, I do want to do a little example of how you can put this all together, how you can make sense of this for you guys before I film part 2 of this video and upload that for you guys. I do want to kind of, you know, leave you with something to test the waters for yourself. I chose 2 scenarios so for our first scenario, we're going on a first date, and I chose a person with what did they have now? So I chose a person with a Pisces rising, a Leo Venus, a Gemini sun, and a Taurus moon. So because we're going on a first date, we're going to start off with our ascendant, because, you know, it's that first impression, and we want to consider what their rising sign says about their physique and what part of their body it rules over. So Pisces, again, this whole bit will be in part 2, the information for each of the zodiac signs. But for Pisces, also how you want to accessorize as well. Accessories, I feel like, comes under your rising sign a lot, as well as your Venus sign, but it's fine. Anyway, so this person has a Pisces rising, so Pisces rules over the feet. I went for some open toe shoes. I went for clothing items that had some kind of flow or looseness to them. I think when it comes to accessories, Pisces really comes down to having kind of like charms or like homemade influences to their accessories, because of that Neptunian influence because of that creativity to them. So that's where we started off. And then we got their Leo Venus. This is how the kind of statement that this person wants to make to the person that they're dating. So with Leo being in their Venus sign, they want to stand out. You want to go with the colors of your Venus sign represents, because Venus is your attraction and you want to be attractive to this person that you're dating, I'm assuming anyway. This is kind of inspired by Alyssa Sharp's video, but she had like power colors, which are kind of like the colors that you make you go wow, make you stand out, make you feel empowered and bold, that type of thing. It gives the impression of that anyway. So the power color, well, one of the power colors for Leo was gold. Here we're going for lots of gold tones and elements, particularly these gold trousers and a gold bag as well, and yeah, also the material that you want to wear. So with Leo, one of the materials is like sequins, feathers, fur, that type of thing. So we got this cute Prada sequin bag. And then the sun sign, because that's who you are, and I'm guessing you want to show your date who you are as a kind of person. Like, you want to be more than just your attraction. You want to let them get to know you, get an insight into who you are. So in terms of your personal style, or this person that I made up's personal style, they have a Gemini sun. So their sun is actually going to be sextiling their Venus. This is a harmonious aspect. There's a lot of cohesiveness between the two. I used earlier's task for this person, and I chose the 3 words fun, knowledgeable and humorous, because I feel like that kind of embodies a bit of Gemini energy. So I went for colors that were on the brighter side and also complementary colors. Gemini also does have the color yellow as being their main colors. So again, I went in with the gold here, and I really just used different hues of this kind of champagne gold color, just because I think it flows very nicely. It has that element of Gemini to it, because Gemini wants to flow because of Mercury. Again, it will make more sense in number 2, but in part 2 of this video. But also the blazer that I chose for this person for that little date is very Gemini, because it's got this kind of writing on it, the script, and again, Mercury rules over writing words, that type of thing. So yeah, and we have the blazer, which is the oversized fit, which is more of that Pisces element. And then last but not least, they have a Taurus moon sign. So accessorizing, Taurus rules over Venus, so this person wants to look very on trend, very fashionable. It's not necessarily being on trend, because I feel like trends are just constantly changing these days, but it's just, you want to feel like, you know, you feel comfortable looking cute. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people don't really care about their fashion in general. Also, Taurus is about comfortability. Like, they also love food. I know it's a stereotype, but Taurus love their food, so they want to wear something that they know that they can get a little good eat out of, and they're not gonna feel like, oh gosh, like, why did I wear this outfit? So I just went for some cute trousers for this Taurus person, for the Taurus moon here. So anyway, here's the outfit that I came up with. I definitely think you could get a bit more oversized on certain elements of this outfit, maybe some more flowy trousers opposed to a little bit more tight fitting, but I do like the gold of the trousers, so that's why I mostly went with that. Love these shoes. Like, I personally don't love these shoes. I don't know how to say it, but it's like, I personally would not wear these shoes, I don't think, or gravitate towards these shoes. But I think for this person, the shoes work really well for them, because they got their little toes out. And I mean, I'm not saying that your date is gonna be have a foot fetish or anything, but your Pisces rising, you know, you probably got some cute toes. I think you just got some cute toes, and I do find that either Pisces hate their toes or love their toes, so you could be one or the other. But yeah, and I like the kind of wrap detail over here. They've got the kind of the gold coming in here again. Everything is very cohesive, and there's almost like this print to it, which is almost like a crocodile, or it almost looks like scales. I don't want to sound horrible, but it's got this almost print to it that to me mimics almost like a fish scale, so that's where I was going with that. And then this top, we've got this champagne in there, we've got something a bit more droopy. Taurus also does rule over the neck, so this kind of style would look really nice on a Taurus placement, this kind of style of top. as it brings attention to the neck area in a really beautiful way, and it also drapes really nicely and has that kind of Piscean influence of being looser while still having structure to it. But also the color of the champagne is something that reflects different colors and different lighting and kind of has that reflective element to it, so very Neptunian in its style. And then this bag is a little bit unusual, so it has that some of that Leo quality to it. It's got diamantes or sparkles on, or some, yeah, it's not glitter, but it's like diamantes, so gold diamante bag. You know, you want to stand out, you got your designer bag. Okay, cute. And then these gorgeous metallic gold pants. I think they're actually from Zara. I wish I was around when Zara was selling these trousers, because I really like them. But yeah, I think this is really cute. I think I just brought together all the elements quite nicely. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any of these placements. It would be really funny if one of you guys had these exact placements, and if you do, let me know if you would wear this outfit. And also, if you have any of these placements, Pisces rising, Leo Venus, Gemini sun, Taurus moon, let me know which parts of these outfits you would wear, if any, and which parts you wouldn't. I want to know how I did in terms of styling this imaginary person. So anyway, on to scenario number 2. So scenario number 2 is a concert. This imaginary person is going to a concert, and they have a Capricorn rising, a Sagittarius sun, a Scorpio Venus, and a Libra moon. So here I want to start off with the sun, because just like music, it is your creative expression. I'm sure you're going to see, well, most people go to concerts to kind of see someone who they feel, who they have some kind of affinity to, in terms of like they enjoy their creativity or something like that through their music, right? So that's what we want to start off with here. And then next I want to look at the moon, because you want to be comfortable. I mean, it's mostly going to be dark, so your style isn't going to be that important unless you're an influencer or something, or you just really like dressing up. And this person does have a Libra moon, so they are going to want to look cute. But also comfortability here is going to be really important for you guys. And your Venus sign, because it rules over fashion in general, and this person has a Scorpio Venus. And then your rising sign is going to be last to be considered, because it's how you want to be perceived, which I don't think you're really going to give that much of a shot. Well, again, they're all important, but I just like to kind of layer them on different stages, so that's just so that you can break it down a little bit, otherwise it becomes a bit overwhelming. So for this person, I'll just show you the outfit that I came up with for this. Do you know what? I didn't even come up with this outfit actually. I was starting to look for an outfit for this person, but then I found this picture on Pinterest, which I thought embodied this person like perfectly, especially for a concert. Like, chef's kiss. I do think this person would have opted for deeper hues because of that Capricorn essence and the Scorpio essence as well. So wearing either like black, blues, greens, anything like that. There's also that relational aspect of the Libra moon being here, as well as, you know, you're going to see your artist, so your style might have some, or this person's style might have some kind of be reflective in some way of the artist that they're going to see. So I don't know what kind of artist would dress like this. Maybe, oh, who would dress like this? I feel like there's a Hispanic artist who would dress like this, but I can't think of her name. I don't know, let me know if there's an artist that would dress like this. But, you know, if an artist would kind of have this kind of street style to them, then I feel like this person would kind of adopt that style as they're going to this concert. And yeah, Sagittarius element has that kind of oversizedness to it, so these really baggy parachute style trousers, and then that scorpionic element here with kind of like having that I think this is Jean-Paul Gaultier. I might be really flopping on that. Look at me trying to act like I know what I'm talking about. Also, do want to note this outfit is very on trend as well, which comes into that Libra moon essence. Like, you know you're gonna fit in, you know you're not gonna stand out too much. Yeah, Jean-Paul Gaultier, if that's how you say his name. Yeah, inspired top. I don't know if it is from him, but that's his style of, that's the very popular style that's going around these days, kind of like showing a female body through this print, which I think is very Scorpionic Venus style. You know, it's kind of provocative in some kind of way. Yeah, I just think this really embodies that person. So again, like I said for the first scenario, if you have any of these placements, let me know which part of this outfit you would wear, which part you wouldn't wear, and why. Right, so that is the end of this part 1 of this video anyway. Remember, you have to take your whole birth chart into account as always, and to be honest, at the end of the day, you can literally wear whatever you want, but I do think you'll probably find that a lot of stuff you gravitate towards or wear will be represented in your natal chart or in astrology in some way. So stick around for part 2 by subscribing, by following the socials, maybe whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you use to stay connected to your peoples. Where I will dive into the different zodiac signs and the material that relates to the fit of the outfit, the different styles that it's related to. Like, I'm very excited for part 2 of this video, and hopefully it will come soon. I'm still working on putting together all the details, and yeah, so that you can really start to create the perfect wardrobe that you will actually get your full wear out of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Oh, I should probably throw my give it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye. Put away my flag, gotta be